hope you can hear me well here. I'm going to speak a little louder because we are here in the outdoor hall and we have something very special to show you. Normally there's a Tiger I in the collection, and as you can see it's here too, but totally stripped down. And we really have the incredible opportunity to show the Tiger in its entire interior. A few key facts about the Tiger: 5-man crew, 650 horsepower, V12 Maybach engine inside, a real drunkard. The Tiger I was built between 1942 and 1944, known as the tank par excellence. Tiger, 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 everyone knows it. I'll say a little something about it. We'll take a look at the whole thing and invite you to take a tour with us here at Modellbau-Koenig. Here we are with the Tiger I, 46 tons. The whole thing was normally equipped with an 8.8 centimeter KWK, which is only partially related to the normal anti-aircraft 8-watt weapon. It had a different ammunition that was a bit different, but the caliber is just the same. So this Tiger here is the one from the Heavy Armored Division 101, was abandoned in Normandy or at the boiler near Verlies. I'm not quite sure about that. And we really have the great opportunity to film the Tigers, to look at all the footage here. I'll give you another overview here, because this Tiger is to be dismantled, or has already been dismantled, and will then be reassembled so that it actually runs again. I've spoken to the people responsible at the museum here. The problem is that the parts that have seized up are to be made to work again, that the parts are missing, that they have to be made themselves. The engine actually still has the oil, from 1944 in it. It still looked pretty good in the photos I saw on Facebook. But of course, when something like that sits for so long, all the rubber seals, all the things, they all have to be reworked, they all have to be made spick and span again, and of course that takes time and money. Well, people here are willing to spend money. We don't have a plastic load Tiger here like in Munster, but in fact it has even reached the point where we have spare parts here, but more on that later. I've prepared some more shots of the interior for you. Every detail is shown here, and yes, I would like to invite you to come and have a look. We are really lucky that we have the Tiger, which is currently being renovated and made ready to drive again. Can really take pictures that are unique. I can't remember such beautiful shots being available anywhere else, and of course we'll try to capture that for you here. So it's very nice to see here. The ballpoint pen there is of course a post-war one, so don't get it mixed up. So everything is very oily, you can see it nicely. Here are the torsion bars that run along here, and there are again for the greasing, for the oiling. You can see the anatomy wonderfully, just like the shock absorbers here, which should then take off the largest springs and suspensions. And unfortunately, we don't have a smell video for you, because the smell of this old oil, this old grease, it's really unique. I love it. And here you can see the ball bearings where the turret was mounted and how relatively large they were. I'll put my hand here so you can see that. Yes, I'm touching the Holy Tiger from the inside. That's a real hot shower running down my panties. Here you can see the whole thing from the inside. So let's get nice and close. That's where the driver was sitting. Let's take a look at this in detail. And here's the radio operator and all the equipment, the torsion bars, which really make this interior so unique. I'm going to go back upstairs. Let's take a look at the whole thing here. So, and what's really interesting is that we're now at the radio operator and that the hull practically ends here at the front, then goes over to the tracks, and then practically goes over a bit here. So getting out was really not very comfortable because we already have the radio operator's machine gun here, and then of course all the other things here. So it wasn't very comfortable in terms of space, which is what the Tiger had. Here at the front we have the holder for the shovel and also the holder for the tools, the ropes, that's all here. Here at the front was the block, the wheel chock, the jack, and no, I still haven't found a word other than jack because I haven't been able to see or read jack anywhere yet. Here is the driver's seat. It's the same here, of course. Super tight, and here again the edge. I'll put a hand there so you can see it clearly. So there was the compass and then the whole device there. To see the sighting block here, and you can see that the whole tank here has been taken apart so that it can be repaired accordingly. Can be repaired and restored to running condition. So let's go there again. We have the ammunition containers here. Let's take a closer look. So there are also a few screws. Very nice to see, and a fire extinguisher in red. I hope it's post-war. So now the quiz question, does anyone know what version this is? Exactly, here at the latest, you can see it. Here we have the late version. This means that we have the wheels without the rubber bands. They have been omitted. So, and this is also nice to see here for the possible weathering effects. That was actually also the case with the originals during the war. A lot helps a lot, especially with oil. That is important. So let's enjoy the tour here for a while. We also have older examples here just to have a comparison with the scrapyard, which is really legendary here in France. Among other things, this scrapyard helped to produce the predecessor of the plastic Tiger, which was in the Tank Museum. And these recordings are, of course, truly legendary, and we are at the very, very forefront here for you. Like this. Here we have the front, the Funker MG. And how thick the steel actually was, we can see that here on the hand. And another interesting point is that the welding lines here, the welder's marks, are actually silver, but everything else is rusted. This is actually due to the material that was used for welding. change the side ones. And there we practically have the track tension at the back. As you know, the drive was at the front. So, and this is a copy here once painted in rust protection color red. And here's the original. What do you mean original? We are both original, but one is still on the whole tank and one is not. It's also interesting to see the towing direction which has been placed underneath here. Yes, and here once the engine compartment, which has now been completely dismantled for the restoration. And one more aspect here, you can see how it went, the gasoline engine, the other side too. It's all still original soot from the vehicle. And also how well relatively thin this Zimmerit coating was on the material. It's actually a huge stroke of luck that this is the Tangale Tigre, that it's been dismantled, because that's how we get really unique shots. So yes, absolutely mega cool. Not only does it make my panties really wet, but it's also really cool. So, and here are the transport chains. That's why they're relatively short. The turret. So now we're inside. Here we have the turret alignment. Here is the platform, which has also been beautifully illustrated by various manufacturers. Here is one of the 3 suspensions. Now let's take a look at what it looks like from the inside. Yes, I would say that the colleagues from the museum still have a bit of work to do. So the cannon was attached to these pins on the left and right. These are typical pins. This is what the whole thing looks like from the inside. And keyword cannon. And here we are, of course, the 88 KWK L56, whereby 56 caliber lengths were necessary here. So, and it's a pity you can't see it completely. Fill-in, unfortunately, you can't read it any further here with so and so much elevation. Let's take a look, of course. The shots here are also absolutely unique. When do you ever have the opportunity to film the original like this? Maybe we can get... the acceptance for the cannon. And you can already see how thick the whole thing is here. It was also interesting to hear what Guderian said about the Tiger when he saw it for the first time. God, what an ugly, clunky box. Yes, some of the crew were convinced that the Tiger was indestructible, which unfortunately very often led to situations that became very dangerous. Because a Tiger was relatively difficult to crack from the front, but from the side and especially from behind it was. And that only ever works if the infantry is also cooperating. And the Tiger has support, so to speak, and can then defend itself. So that's the end of the tour so far. I hope you enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. It's absolutely amazing what you can see here. And these details are really, really unique. And I'm delighted that the museum was so accommodating that we were able to record it. I'm super, super happy with that. I hope you can also do something with the recordings and enjoy them. I'm totally full of adrenaline. I'm totally flashed that this has been made possible. Many, many thanks to the museum. And of course, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the whole thing. We would of course be very happy about it. Make us known, share the whole thing. Yes, then thank you very, very much for your time. See you at the next video. Your Christian from Modellbau-Koenig.